All right. Hey, guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. It is Friday, April 28th, and this is episode 14 of hashtag PWU Live. This is our weekly wrap-up show, talk about everything that went down throughout the week of professional wrestling. Now, I was going to come on here first off and just start talking straight up about yesterday's big story and the Hardy Boys, WWE, and the Broken Hardy Gimmick. But then right before we went live, some news kind of broke from the Twitter of the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. But before we get going with that, let's check who's joined us here so far in the live stream. Who is with us in the chat? We've got Arfat Sakik, No Lore, No Man Shaik, Yash Raul, Ricky Baller, Michael Houston, What's Going On, Rith Thing, Fasolaman 2. All right. If you guys do want to call in the show here in a little bit, we've got the phone number. The lines are open. Not quite yet, but the phone number is 559-475-8473. Once we get past some of the initial major stories I'm going to talk about, news, then I'll take your phone calls. But before that, I got to say, if you want to help out Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you can do so at no cost to you by heading over to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. All you got to do is go over there. Best done on a tablet or mobile device. Interact with the website. Download an app. Watch a 15 or 30-second video clip. And then the advertisers there, they're going to tip me. Also, if you want, you can head over to our TeePublic store, where you can get any of our t-shirts. And our t-shirt designs can also be purchased as stickers, cell phone cases, mugs, etc. And finally, if you want to just donate and you're here in the live stream, you can always hit that super chat button right there in the chat here on the live stream. Now, I said the American Airlines Center sent out some news, some breaking news this morning, like literally within the last 20 minutes or so, announcing Brock Lesnar's return, that Brock Lesnar will be defending the Universal Championship at their arena, and a brand new WWE Raw branded pay-per-view. This Raw branded pay-per-view, now, I don't know where they came up with the name. Maybe they were listening to some Jerry Lee Lewis, but it's called Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, it's a Raw branded pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire. They said that this will be Brock Lesnar's first defense of the WWE Universal Championship, but they didn't say against who. The pay-per-view will be taking place July 9th. Pre-sale goes on sale Thursday, May 4th, and then tickets go on sale the following day, May 5th. So, what do you guys think of this? The new Raw branded pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire. Like, first thing I thought of was the Jerry Lee Lewis song. I don't know where they came up with the name, why they came up with the name. But, yeah, this should be the show where we get Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. But July? That means we have all of May and all of June for them to build up Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. And are we really getting a 2-month build? Like, wow. I don't know exactly what they do with Braun in the meantime, where they go, Roman Reigns, he's not going to be in this picture. Everyone's trying to say, oh, Roman's going to be involved somehow. Roman Reigns is not supposed to be around Brock Lesnar until it's time for him to challenge for the title at WrestleMania. Let's see. Some of you guys are here in the chat. Go Ham, what's going on? Susan Williams. Haha. Ricky Baller said that I skipped my class just to watch this. Michael Houston says, way to show dedication. Stay in school. That's right, kids. Stay in school. I wish I would have continued my education. Didn't quite finish college yet. Might be going back soon. I don't know. All right, so yeah, Great Balls of Fire. I don't really. You could. This was supposed to be the quote unquote Bad Blood pay per view, and now, because originally the rumor was they were bringing back Bad Blood, and it was going to be in Hartford, Connecticut. And then WWE was like, I don't know who started that rumor, but it's not true. They're not even going to Hartford for a pay per view. They're going to Dallas, July 9th, with good God Almighty, Great Balls of Fire. Like, whoo! I don't even know. But if you guys want to call in and talk about this Great Balls of Fire, you're more than welcome. The line's open. It's 559-475-8473. Give us a call and give us your thoughts on the name Great Balls of Fire. Now, yesterday, the big story of the day was that the WWE got the Gimmick Broken Hardys from Impact Wrestling. Wrestling News World, Cage Side Seats, and others were all reporting that it looks to be like 99% done. It looks like a done deal. They're just, the final little tweaks and things. Impact originally wanted 10 to 20% perpetuities. WWE's like, no, you're not doing that. And that's kind of the reason Matt left in the first place. One, they weren't going to give him as much creative control. And two, they wanted a percentage of all merchandise sold outside of their company. And ultimately, it led to Matt and Jeff leaving. Dave Meltzer yesterday was asked this question on Wrestling Observer Live. Hey, what's going on? Is this true? Have they reached a deal? Dave said he had heard something, reached out to people in the WWE, and hadn't gotten any comments back. He hasn't said anything on it, so he hasn't heard anything. But as of this morning, Rebby actually took to Twitter when asked about this, saying, no, absolutely none. The fact that this is even a rumor is a joke. She then went on to say, 99% sure it was leaked to stooge writers from Jarrett in an attempt to make TNA look like it's in a position of power. So Rebby is trying to say that, Jeff Jarrett and Impact want to look good. They want to look like they're willing to work out a deal. They want to look like they're willing to cut some sort of deal with the WWE, but nothing has actually been done. Matt then this morning has also been teasing the broken gimmick. Matt sent out a tweet saying, "Oh, Skarsgård, you're golden," with a picture of his gold boat. And then he sent out another tweet saying, "The obsolete owl cannot evade my broken brilliance by flying away. Deletion is coming." He then tweeted out, "The celestial voices have told me the genius of my modern testament nears. My vessel will be blessed if I push it to unseen paramounts." And remember how I told you that Matt keeps changing his name on Twitter? Yeah, his handle's Matt Hardy Brand, but he keeps changing his name. Well, now his name is Reborn by Fate. I'm pretty sure that's their little tagline that WWE has given them. But so Matt's teasing it even more than he has. Rebby's saying that there's no deal, that Jeff Jarrett leaked this story out just to make them look good. And now we have to sit and wait. Here's the thing. The original story was that the Hardys keep the tag titles, the Raw tag titles, until it's time for them to be broken again. Once they get the broken gimmick, the Hardys will eventually lose the titles and slowly become broken. The way this works is right after WrestleMania, Matt sent out a tweet saying that winning the Raw tag titles has cured his condition and that he's no longer broken, well, at least for the time being. So, with that being said, the plan would be to get the titles off of the Hardys, and this triggers something in Matt. This then make Matt go broken, become broken Matt Hardy again, and we go from there. Eventually, they will maybe feud Matt and Brother Nero, but I know the ultimate goal is to split them up and actually put them on separate brands, make Matt a top star on Raw, make Jeff most likely the biggest top babyface on SmackDown, and then we see where it goes. If they're not broken, I don't know how far Matt can actually go in the WWE. I don't know how far they can go together in the WWE. We saw with the Dudleys. There's like a ceiling they can reach, and then it's just like, oh, they're the Dudleys. Okay, cool. Or is WWE really going to push them? But the whole fact of if Matt can be broken, it's different. It's something we haven't seen in the WWE. So with that being said, there is no real ceiling that we can see because you've got, on Raw, Matt can be feuding with Bray Wyatt. Matt can feud with Finn Balor. He can have good matches with Samoa Joe. But just think of him and Bray. Him and Bray and the promos. Oh, good God, how great can that be? Let's see. A lot of you are saying, Sarah Smull says, WTF, horrible pay-per-view name. Going back to Great Balls of Fire. Ricky Baller says, sounds like a porn title. Riff Thing, Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. Samoa Joe actually said on a latest edition of the Talk is Jericho podcast that he wants to fight Brock Lesnar. He wants a match with Brock Lesnar. Robert Cathy says, what the hell, July? Isn't Brock supposed to defend the title once every 30 days? In theory, yes. And the whole Naomi thing kind of brought this all to light recently. People usually they forget about those kind of things. But the whole fact of that they just had this stipulation be used with Naomi right before Mania, stirring everything up. So yeah, they're waiting until July. They said in the little 30-second clip, I tweeted it out, so I retweeted it from the American Airlines Center. If you do want to go see it, I also posted it on our Instagram. They said this will be Brock Lesnar's first defense. So that means he defends at Great Balls of Fire in July, and then he's working the next month SummerSlam. I mean, I couldn't see him not working SummerSlam, so he's going to do at least 2 months in a row. I guess that's kind of good. And then I just hope he doesn't take another August, September, October, November, 3 months off till Survivor Series. I guess I can see them doing the 3-month thing, or maybe he takes 1 month off, comes back around Hell in a Cell time, takes another month off, comes back around. That's how they should do it. They should alternate. If Brock doesn't want to be there every month, make him work every other month. He can do SummerSlam, take a month off, do, what is it, in October? Oh Lord. I just said it, Hell in a Cell. Then you go from there, and then you've got Survivor Series, and you give him a month or two off again, and there's a Rumble. So that's how I would book it. Make Brock work every other month. Sometimes you do 2 in a row, just because that's how it's got to work. Let's see. Gnome Shakir, what do you think? So what do you think, who Lesnar going to face at Great Balls of Fire? Right now, the plan would be Braun Strowman. That's the last thing I've heard. Daniel Eubank says, Great Balls of Fire. Really, I would call it Armageddon Rebirth. That would be a better name. They should bring back the Armageddon name. I mean, it's just a name, though. It's not like this Great Balls of Fire is a gimmick pay-per-view. But I like how you added the Rebirth, because they like to add little taglines like End of the Line and stuff. And then WrestleMania, the Ultimate Thrill Ride. So, all right. Go Ham says, I'm going back to work, but still be listening. Well, thank you for that. Sarah Small says, I'm watching the NFL Draft. It's great. Love the NFL Draft. Rith Thing, New Day. New Day can save SmackDown Live Tag Team Division. I think their big plan is to put the titles on the New Day. I know they're keeping the New Day off SmackDown right now because Kofi's gone. Yes, they can do Xavier and Big E as a tag team, but I think the reason they're keeping them all off till Kofi's good is because they really were going to put the titles on them. I'm not saying that confirmed 100%, but that's just what it looks like. Let's see what else you guys are saying here in the chat. Remember, if you do want to call in, talk about anything today, Payback this weekend, Great Balls of Fire, Broken Hardy Gimmick. The phone number is 559-475-8473. Excuse me. All right. No Lore says, seriously, WWE, the Beast versus the Monster at WWE Great Balls of Fire. Hey. Hopefully no one has like an Inferno match or something. Has some sort of gimmick fire match. Noam Shakira, do you think Roman's going to win this Sunday? I don't think so. Braun Strowman is the favorite with the betting odds. And if Braun's going to face Brock for the championship, I guess, at Great Balls of Fire in July, he's got to win. And then he's got to win his next feud at, what pay-per-view would be after, what's the June Raw pay-per-view? Let me look that up. WWE pay-per-views. He would have to win the next 2 feuds he does, in my opinion. Braun, if Braun's going to challenge for the championship, he can't be losing. Like the Kalisto thing, erase that from your memory. That was the dumbest thing in the world. They had a dumpster that wasn't even half the size of Braun height-wise. Like, get out of town. But, like I said, this Sunday is Payback, so let's run down real fast to the card for Payback. Got my notes here. All right. So as far as Payback goes, let me see something really fast. We were trying to find out what the pay-per-view, the Raw pay-per-view between Great Balls of Fire. Raw is getting Extreme Rules. It's going to be a Raw pay-per-view. Extreme Rules. So we've got, Raw's got Payback. Then Raw's got Extreme Rules in June, and then they got Great Balls of Fire in July. Okay, that works. Excuse me. With things, Sawyer Fulton will ever return to Sanity, and Crazy Steve will join them. I haven't heard anything. As far as Crazy Steve goes, a deal has been offered, but as of Wednesday, nothing was signed yet. So it's not 100% official. Crazy Steve has been telling people that he's going to work indies for a short period of time. He said that, yes, he's left Impact and that he can be working around the country, but he's making it known that it's only for a short period of time. So that means maybe, while the negotiations go on with WWE, while he does his medicals for WWE and they get everything back, signed, confirmed, done deal, he'll work other places for a little bit, got to make that money. As far as Sawyer Fulton goes, I haven't heard his name anywhere since he went down with injury. Sarah Smool, I want Owens to win. I like him on SmackDown. Win or lose, Owens is staying on SmackDown. They said it this week that when Owens was on commentary for the AJ Styles and Baron Corbin match, they said, hey, if you lose to Chris Jericho this week, he will not just become the United States champion, but he will join you here on SmackDown Live. So Kevin Owens isn't going anywhere. Kevin Owens is going to stay on SmackDown and go from there. I see Kevin Owens winning, but in my opinion, I would have Owens lose. Then right away, turn it around, boom, Tuesday, get that title back. And then you have Jericho on SmackDown. So when it is time for him to come back, he can come back on SmackDown. But last I heard, Jericho's going to work Payback, work Monday for Raw, and then as the WWE guys fly out to Italy for the European tour, he's going on his merry way to do his stuff with Fozzy. Also got to tell you guys, if anybody is going to SmackDown next Tuesday here in Fresno, I will be there. I'm going to get there early. If anybody wants to meet up, do like a little meetup thing, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. If you do want to meet up before or after SmackDown, hang out, talk wrestling, and whatever. The show starts around 5 o'clock here local time. Doors should be opening, I want to say 4:30. They usually open hour before. So, hey, if you guys want to hang out before the show, let me know. I'll be sitting right up along the ramp, the entrance ramp, front row right there. So if you guys want to, just hit me up. Now, as far as Payback goes, we got a lineup. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. That's counting the pre-show match. And I don't think, especially now that today's Friday, we're not going to get any other matches added. So on the pre-show match, we've got Enzo and Cass taking on Gallows and Anderson. And I see Enzo and Cass possibly winning this, especially if Cesaro and Sheamus are winning the tag titles, because then they can go into Cesaro and Sheamus versus Enzo and Cass for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We then have the Raw Tag Team title match with the Broken Heart. Well, can't say that yet. We don't know. The Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Right now, the Hardy Boys are favored to win this match. I would say Hardys win if they don't have the gimmick. If they have the gimmick, Hardys probably lose. We then go on to have the Raw Women's Championship match. Bayley defending against Alexa Bliss in her hometown. And last I heard, there's a good chance Alexa's getting this title. I mean, remember with Sasha in her hometown of Boston, she lost. Bayley's in her hometown. Means she might lose. We've then got Seth Rollins taking on Samoa Joe, where I think they're going to start pushing Seth Rollins big, so Seth's probably going to get the win there. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in the House of Horrors match. Now, here's my timeline of thinking. Originally, when the title was on the line, I thought, Randy's got to win this match. There's no way they're giving the title to Bray on Raw. Then, when they made it a non-title match, I was like, oh, it's a non-title match so Bray can win. Awesome, cool, got it. But then after this week on SmackDown, after Randy Orton got beat down by Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers and got his title stolen, now I think Randy's going to win. They're not going to make Randy look that weak. The SmackDown champion, he's not going to get beat down on SmackDown and then the next weekend, lose again. No, it makes Randy look way too weak. So I think Bray's losing, Randy's coming out victorious. Then got the U.S. title match, Owens versus Jericho. Like I said, I think Owens is winning that one. We've got Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville probably retain, even though I think it's time to put that title on Austin Aries. That, either Neville, Aries, Rollins, or Joe, I think those can be right up there. Probably one of those matches will be best match of the night. Yes, Owens and Jericho can have a great match, but I really think either Neville and Aries may have the best match just for the fact that they want to prove something, because the match they had at Mania was good, but they were stifled with the sun setting, the sun being in their eyes, the crowd wasn't all in the building yet. So I think they're going to go out there with something to prove. Then we have the main event, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, where I see Braun Strowman coming out victorious. I mean, Braun has to be victorious if he's the next challenger to Brock Lesnar and the WWE Universal Championship. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. No Man says, which match are you excited for? And Harfat says, none of the matches. Dang. Oh, and I did forget to say on the pre-show as well, Miz will be holding a special episode of Miz TV with Finn Balor. Right now, they're keeping Finn on like a little holding pattern until after Payback, when he's going to start feuding with Bray Wyatt. With the thing, Rusev versus Randy Orton or Jinder at Money in the Bank. That's a tough one. I can really see them giving the title to Jinder. But if Rusev's going to be the challenger, it all depends. Is Rusev a babyface or is Rusev a heel? If Rusev's a babyface, maybe we do get Rusev versus Jinder. If Rusev's a heel, then that's a better chance of getting Rusev versus Randy Orton. No Man is asking, when will Rock return to WWE? That is something that nobody can predict. That's something that nobody can know, because it's more of a fact of, when's The Rock ever going to be available? Rock usually only comes now at Mania, so I don't really see anything until maybe next year at Mania. Andres Suicida has joined us here in the chat. What's going on? Mustafa Saleh, what software do you use to edit your videos? I use Adobe Photoshop to do all my graphics. I use Adobe After Effects to do all my motion graphics. And then I use, as my main editor for most of my videos, Adobe Premiere. Also, if you've ever seen any 3D work in my stuff, I use Maxon's Cinema 4D. And then for the live stream, of course, I use OBS, which is actually the only free software I do use. All the other ones are actually quite expensive. But if you want to do live streaming, I know this is a little technical stuff that most people don't care about, but you can go to the OBS website and download that completely for free. It's a really good live streaming software, and you don't need to use it just for live streaming. You can use it for screen capturing and just straight up video recording. With thing, I think Kevin Owens will lose and return to Raw. Kevin Owens is not going back to Raw. They made that clear this week on SmackDown that if Owens loses, Jericho will be joining him this week on SmackDown. Twisted. All the Indians will cream. Okay. Keep it PG. Muhammad's gone wild. No. Robert Cathy says, are we going to see King Maxwell, Senor Benjamin with the Broken Hardys? I honestly don't know. Last I heard, when the Hardys were first signed, they just wanted the Hardys. Could we see Senor Benjamin, Queen Rebecca, King Maxwell all show up once the gimmick's purchased? Maybe. Maybe we see them in some of those Hardy compound pre-taped things. I don't know if we're going to see them on like a weekly basis or anything, or as regular characters. But they could use them sparingly, like here and there, little things and stuff. So we could, but that was never the initial plan to use them. All right. We have an update on Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder actually tweeted out yesterday, today was a big day. I got back in the ring for the first time since I was injured in December. I ran the ropes today. I blew up. I loved it. So Zack Ryder was cleared to be very ginger and light in the ring. He's not able to go out there and have matches or do anything yet, but he's working up towards that. I know he was given a 6-month recovery time, so if he got injured in December, January, February, March, April, May, June-ish could be when he returns. June, July, maybe? I don't know if they're going to put him back with Mojo as the Hype Bros, or if they're going to keep Mojo a single and make him a single on SmackDown. And let's see. If you guys do want to call into the show, the phone number is 559-475-8473. What's going on? I0. DCost 1972 says, I can see the Cruiserweight title match and in a non-finish with Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins interfering. It will lead to a fatal 4-way on the next Raw pay-per-view. That can actually be a good idea. They can do it that way. That's a perfect idea. Here's my fantasy booking on that. That's a really good idea, DCost. Okay, so Gallagher, TJ Perkins interfere, DQ finish. Then they go on to the fatal 4-way where Austin Aries can win the title, but he doesn't have to pin Neville. Neville actually doesn't lose, so they keep Neville, Austin Aries going. Austin Aries is now the champion, and we go from there. Great thinking. I didn't even think of that. But then you can lead it into Aries can win the title, but Neville didn't really... He doesn't have to get pinned. And that's the thing right now. They're so high on Neville, they don't want him to actually be losing like that, especially in big matches. So that works. Ricky Balor says, does Finn Balor seem more serious now? He looks like I guess it's a heel, but he's not. Honestly, we don't know what they're doing with Finn. They're keeping Finn quiet. He's just going out there and doing his matches and going right to the back. He's not cutting promos or anything. Like I said, they're keeping him in a holding pattern until the stuff with Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt's done, and they can go from there. I0 Ryder returns soon. Like I said, maybe he was given 6 months, so maybe June or July. With thing heel Ambrose versus Faith Rollins at SummerSlam. People keep saying heel Ambrose, but I don't see it. I don't see them turning Dean Ambrose heel right now. I honestly don't. Jonathan McClee. You think Vanguard 1 will be used? Hey, any of it can be used. It just depends on... Here's the big thing that we don't know. Who's going to be in charge of this gimmick? Who's going to be scripting it? Is it Matt? Is Matt going to be given... Because you know Matt's not going to be given 100% creative control. But is Matt going to be given a good amount of creative control? Or is the 28, 38, whatever, however many writers WWE has, are they going to be the ones writing it? Because that's the big question. That's the big unknown with all of this. Not when are they getting the gimmick, or if they're getting the gimmick, or how are they getting the gimmick. It's who's going to be in charge of the gimmick once the WWE does acquire it. And the other question, if WWE is the one paying Impact for the gimmick, does that mean they own it? Are they getting it to sell it to Matt to give Matt the rights? Or... See, it's just so many unknowns with this. Everybody's so excited, but you have to remember in the back of your mind, WWE can mess this up. And then you can just be like, oh, crap, give me the Hardys back again, the regular Hardys. So I'm not trying to say that they're going to mess it up for sure, but we got to wait and see. Let's see, what are you guys saying here in the chat? Riff Thing says, TJ Perkins is the Prince of Cruiserweight. Powell 18400, what's going on? Asking about Great Balls of Fire. Hey, what can we think of it? It's a weird name. Robert Cathy, what's the deal with the Jarrett's backstage at TNA and Impact? Are you talking about the incident they had with Rob Ryder? If that's what you're asking, all I know is Sunday on the last day of tapings, Karen went into some office backstage where they were doing the tapings at Universal, and she started yelling at Ryder about some hotel room. Like, we don't even know if it's a hotel room for her or if it was for somebody else. And then she walked away, and Jeff came in, told Ryder, pack your stuff and get out. So Ryder packed his stuff, left, and as he was getting into his car in the parking lot, the Jarretts then met him in the parking lot, and people said they started yelling at him again. But then come Monday, Tuesday, it was work as normal. He was in the offices in Nashville working like nothing happened. So maybe everything blew over. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to impact anything with Impact, no pun intended. So we'll have to wait and see exactly if that does cause any issues between Impact officials, Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, because Anthem has pretty much said Jeff's in charge of the company. That's why they did the whole merger with Global Force and all of that. Jonathan McClay, do you think we will see Adam Cole in NXT soon? I don't know how soon. WWE has been advised to kind of take a step back from signing guys with Ring of Honor. I have a full story coming out on this today. And it all stems from the whole fact of when the story broke on WWE possibly trying to purchase Ring of Honor. Then there was stuff saying that WWE was contract tampering, offering Ring of Honor guys deals, contacting them and talking to them about coming to work for WWE before their deals were even done with Ring of Honor. So their lawyers, which I'm going to talk about this in the video later today, their lawyers have advised them to kind of take a step back on signing guys that just come out of Ring of Honor to make them not look bad. Because some may misconstrue things and think the only reason they were trying to talk about business and purchasing the company from Ring of Honor was to get inside information on contracts, learn about how much they're offering different guys, when different guys' deals are coming up. So, that's the reason they haven't signed Kyle O'Reilly. They were going to sign Kyle O'Reilly back in February. And they were told, you know what? Let's wait just a little bit. Ricky Baller says, I lost your comment. I can see Roman winning Sunday, putting up a good match, but Braun beating him after. No, Braun just has to win. Braun straight up has to win. Yeah, we just saw Sid Sir ask about Kyle O'Reilly. They're kind of waiting on that. I don't know if they're going to sign him or when. Let's see. Walsh says, Matt won't let that happen. I know that for a fact. How do you know for a fact? We don't know anything for a fact with this gimmick in the WWE. Jonathan says, in my case, it'd be, oh crap, go back to ROH. I don't know what you're trying to say there. Robert Cathy says, WWE is going to keep the broken gimmick until merch sales drop off. Well, yeah, that's for sure. But with WWE, they can really push it and put more, I guess, work into the shirts and the merch and all that than the Hardys could, because the Hardys, they had to be out there wrestling, and then they had to be designing the merch, and then they had to be selling their merch. With the WWE, the Hardys just got to go out there and wrestle. They got people to work on the merch and all that for them. So maybe the merch does get better. Maybe it stays hot for years, 2 years, 3 years, we don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of unknowns with the broken gimmick in the WWE. With the thing, if Jay Lethal will release from ROH, will go to NXT or main roster, we don't know. I could probably see him in NXT first. Most guys are going through NXT first. I mean, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roderick Strong, Eric Young. There are a few exceptions to the rule of you go to NXT first, but that's very little. Like AJ, Gallows and Anderson, and maybe Maria and Mike Bennett, because they may want Maria for the next season of Total Divas. Oh no, Robert, no. Robert says Jay Lethal would be great as the 4th member of the New Day. No. Bullet Club vs. Shield. What the hell is Great Balls of Fire? It's the Raw July pay-per-view. That's what it is. What's the thing? Mr. McMahon will push Dylan Miley in main roster. Well, we haven't really seen him much on NXT yet, so we got to see how they use him down there first. Sarah Small, I want Braun to win. I love him. He is one sexy man. Oh, okay. Go find him on Twitter. Or no, Twitter, Tinder. I've seen pictures of his Tinder account. Him sitting in a creek. I don't know. Mulad, Dalton Castle would be perfect for NXT, but maybe similar to Tyler Breeze. Maybe a little bit. I don't know if they bring the boys with him or if they keep that gimmick at all. That's the thing. You can have a hot gimmick in ROH, Dalton Castle and the boys. Then they bring him to WWE, and either they change his gimmick altogether or they don't bring the boys or something, and then it just falls flat. So Walsh, that gimmick is his baby. There's no way he'd let WWE ruin it if he'd go off script, if he had to. We've seen Matt go off script before, like the first time he attacked Edge for the Edge Lita Matt Hardy stuff. He called him Adam. He said stuff about Ring of Honor. So we've seen Matt go off script before. But I get what you're saying. Matt worked too hard on that gimmick to let WWE ruin it. We'll see. Excuse me. Ricky Baller says, what if they were add someone to the Hardys and made them broken too, like a WWE superstar right now? I don't think they should. I think they should keep it Matt and Jeff, eventually break them up, keep Matt by himself, let Jeff go do his thing, and when they're going to break them up, they need to... Here's my thing. If you have them come in, if you have the broken gimmick start together, Matt and Jeff, Broken Matt, Brother Nero, cool. Then when you break them up, you either feud them right away, or you split them and put Jeff on the other show, or Matt on the other show. Because keeping them on the same show, I don't know if that would be good, in my opinion. I think they should, if Jeff's just going to be Jeff and he's not feuding with Matt, send him to SmackDown. That way Matt can do his own thing. No one has to always be like, oh, is Jeff ever going to do something with Matt? Is Jeff going to interfere? Is Matt going to interfere in Jeff's stuff? There's always going to be that question in people's minds. So you just split them and you go from there. Mulad, Hardys are def winning on Sunday. We don't know that. If they lose on Sunday, then that could indicate that they got the gimmick. If they win, yes, Matt and Jeff are the favorites right now. But those odds came out before the news of WWE possibly getting the gimmick. Robert Cathy says, I'm just joking. Oh, I knew you were. It was just preposterous to even think about. Twisted. Do you think Bray Wyatt will join Braun Strowman? No. Then it'll be the Wyatt family again, and then bring the guys over from SmackDown. No. Braun's going to be his own thing. They're pushing Braun as like the biggest, baddest heel in the company. So him and Baron Corbin are going to be the two new big heels. I0 says Hardy's won both of their matches, so they're going to lose on Sunday. That's what you would think. But Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer were talking about this, and they said that too. Bryan Alvarez said, hey, when you usually lose on Raw, you're winning at the pay-per-view. And then Dave went, it's more like 60%. And so a fan actually went through and charted everything. I don't remember how far back they went, but they charted things on, okay, here's the go-homes, and here's the pay-per-view, and here's the ratios. And it's actually 61% that if you lose, say, with Cesaro and Sheamus, they lost to the Hardys right before the pay-per-view. So there's a 61% that they're winning at the pay-per-view. It's better than 50-50, but it's not as high as we all assumed and thought. Someone actually took the time to do the math and do the research. Thing, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Hideo Itami. We first got to get Hideo to stay, not injured for more than 2 or 3 months. Get him a good run in NXT and then bring him to the main roster. Could be a good match. I can see that being a really good match. But you got to make sure Hideo can last first. Ricky Balor, you think you think they're ever moved SmackDown to Fridays, but no, they're not. SmackDown's going to stay live for the foreseeable future. As long as we know it right now, SmackDown's staying live. There's no possible way they can do the show live Friday. It's just going to cost too much money. It makes no sense. The show will stay on Tuesdays. I mean, the show's always been taped on Tuesdays. It's just it aired on Thursdays or Fridays pre-taped. So they're not changing that one bit at all. Molau, do you think they will allow Jeff to go by Brother Nero? If they get the gimmick, that's what they're going to do. Broken Matt and Brother Nero. Robert Cathy, Randy is boring as WWE champion. They need to find a way to put the title on AJ. I don't know what it is. I agree. Randy's been a great champ before, but there's just some sort of a disconnect right now where I don't want to say Randy's just phoning it in or something, but that's almost what it seems like. Like, Randy goes out there, he does his match, cuts his promo, and then he's just done. But he's not putting any extra oomph or any extra effort into it. That's my opinion. Bullet Club versus Shield. Do you think Alexa could turn face? Not right now. She's probably going to get that title and get a good heel run on Raw. Moo Loud. Hardys are on a hot streak. Saeed says, when DIY come to the main roster? Not for a while, because they need to keep credible tag teams down there in NXT. They have introduced, I think, 2 new tag teams, maybe 3. They've got Heavy Machinery. They've got Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, and I think there's a 3rd one that I just heard about that's coming into NXT as well. So that would make 5 or 6 tag teams in NXT. Sounds good. So DIY can come up maybe towards the end of the year. Rith Thing will be a draft in summer for Split Hardys. Last I heard, they may not do another draft. The Superstar Shakeup may be the actual draft. But if it was my opinion, I say do the draft around Survivor Series time. Robert Cathy, what is WWE doing with Nakamura? If that promo with him and Dolph is a sign of things to come, they are going to mess it up. Oh, yeah, I have no clue what they're doing with Nakamura. All I can tell you for sure is the reason Nakamura isn't wrestling on SmackDown is because they're trying to keep the fans in the arenas for 205 Live. They're having Nakamura be mentioned on SmackDown or be on SmackDown but not wrestle. Then they do 205 Live, and right before 205 Live, they tell you the main event dark match after 205 Live is Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura. So then people are like, oh, I want to see Shinsuke wrestle. So I know that's for sure why they're not having him wrestle on SmackDown. As far as that promo, it just seemed way too overscripted. Way too overscripted. And then people are already saying, well, why did Nakamura have the mouthpiece in? If they're worried about people not being able to understand him, you're really not going to be able to understand him with that mouthpiece in. Let's see. Banks of Sasha, can SmackDown Live be 3 hours live soon? I hope not. It all comes down to what USA Network wants. New USA Network wanted a 3rd hour of Raw. They wanted more content on Mondays. They got it. And it's really, honestly, hurt the product. With that, I don't see them doing SmackDown a 3-hour show. If you really, really look at it, some people, you can say if you want to say this, SmackDown's actually a 5-hour show. Because, I mean, it's a 3.5 hour show in the building. The show runs just as long as Raw does when you're there, because they tape 205 Live. They give you the dark matches. I think Raw tapes main event, and then they give you a dark match. So they've got that stuff all situated. But as far as TV goes, keep SmackDown 2 hours. Please don't move it to 3. That would be the death of SmackDown. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tim? I just want to know, did you ever do that broken heart thing? Because it seems like if they got the gimmick, they're probably going to be doing it.
It's coming today.
Huh?
I got to put the last editing stuff on there. I did the intro this morning. I got to throw that in. That video will be up today.
Only I'm even saying anything because I have a feeling they're going to do that broken thing starting Monday. I really believe they are.
I think they may, if they get the gimmick and they take the titles off the Hardys on a Sunday, I see them maybe teasing something on Monday and then waiting till the following week, because they can't just throw it out there, because then it may not make sense.
No, I'm not saying that they're going to just he's going to come out and start saying delete and yes and all that other stuff.
Okay,
I think that what they're going
to
do to build up to it. And
right.
I said, a lot of people, they didn't have Pop and what was that, Expedition America channel, whatever that was they were on
Destination
before.
America?
They didn't have those channels,
right.
So a lot of people don't even know what broken is. And,
exactly.
I was looking on YouTube, and they don't really have a good explanation of it either on no video.
Yeah,
I was surprised about that.
I took your idea. It's going to be like a 7-8 minute video.
So that long?
Yeah, I talk about, really, I go from what made Matt go broken. I talk about the final deletion, and then I go on from there about the stuff with the Decay, about the Expedition of Gold, them leaving Impact, and then coming to WWE.
Oh, okay. Please don't bring up Willow. I bet they give that gimmick away. Y'all can have Willow. I bet they're not even fighting over that.
I said it briefly because it kind of has to be said, because that's how Matt first announced that he was broken, when he was attacking Jeff as Willow. But I say it briefly.
Yeah, but make that as brief as possible.
Yeah.
Because I bet that Willow thing was not good at all.
No. But yeah.
All right, I got to get back to work,
All right.
on my break.
Gotcha.
But, I don't think I'm watching Payback. I think I'm going to be watching the game instead.
Yeah,
I got the network. I might just catch it.
Right.
I might, if you do a show afterwards.
Yeah, we will.
If people say it sucks, then I'll probably be like, well, I ain't going to watch it. So,
right. Yeah, we'll be live after Payback.
All right, well. And is it TakeOver Saturday?
No, the TakeOver show is the night before Backlash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sitting
next
there going
month,
all crazy looking on my tablet for the network, and I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's the following month in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So if everybody got that free WrestleMania one, they need to cancel it now,
right?
And then wait till next week and get it again so you can watch Payback. I mean, that TakeOver for free. Because I'm telling you,
they said on Monday, if you order the network this week, you get Payback, TakeOver, and Backlash for free if you order it towards the end of this week.
That's messed up, man. I wouldn't have got the network all early. If I had known he was going to be doing all these free trials, I just would have got a whole bunch of email addresses just to get the network.
I've had the network since day one, been paying on it.
Yeah, no, it was cheaper, and then all of a sudden it keeps going up, and I guess it stopped at $9.99, so I hope it stays there, because if it goes any higher, I'm like, forget that. I'm paying for cable and this. I'll just watch Tim and forget the network. All right, let me get back to work, man. I'm loving the show, but you should come on nighttime, man. Or you should come on the nights, man. But I understand we all got lives.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
All right. So, yes, Payback. TakeOver, Payback, not the same weekend. TakeOver, Backlash, same weekend. Chicago, May 19th and 20th, I think it is. Let's see. Some of you guys are still asking about that Great Balls of Fire. Like, I don't understand that one bit, the name. But it's just a name. Like I said, when everyone was like, oh, are you excited Bad Blood's coming back, when they first the rumor was out there. No, because it's just a name. Bruce Campbell not doing live stream tonight. No, I usually try to do the Friday shows in the morning because I'm usually tied up on Friday nights. Usually try to do Monday, Tuesday at night after Raw and SmackDown if I can. Do the Friday recap, the week recap show, PWU Live, Friday mornings. If something comes up and I can't, then I'll try to make it on Friday night. And then, of course, we're live after the pay-per-views. We'll be live this Sunday after Payback. I0, that's 6 hours of WWE and 2 days on air if both 3 hours. And, yes, 6 hours and 2 days. And then you also got to think, if there's a pay-per-view on Sunday, that's an extra 3 hours. That's 9 hours. At the kickoff show, that's 10 hours in 3 days. That's a lot of shit. No, Bruce. I'm not doing no more night shows. It's just I usually do my recaps at night. And then the PWU live show is an hour show Friday mornings. If I can't do it on Friday morning, then I'll schedule out to try and make some time to do it at Friday night. I0, I don't even pay for cable. I just watch YouTube, and WWE is streaming a streaming site and stream movies and had WWE Network. Hey, if you really want to cut your cable, all you need is a hacked Amazon Fire Stick. This is what I do. Because I live in California. If I were to watch SmackDown and Raw when it comes on in my house here in California, I wouldn't be watching Raw and SmackDown till after it's already aired live. So I have a hacked Amazon Fire Stick. I then pull up a stream from the UK on my hacked Fire Stick, and I'm watching it live with everybody else. That way, I can do the live recap shows at a decent hour, because if I were to watch SmackDown and Raw when they actually come on here in California on the West Coast, it would be 11, 12, it'd be like 1, 2 a.m. before I even, can go live for you guys on the East Coast. So, yeah, I just get a stream out of the UK off of Cody on a hacked Fire Stick, and I go from there. I mean, you can get anything on that hacked Fire Stick with Cody. Movies that are still in theaters, any TV show from now, from the past, movies from now. It's a whole different story, whole different topic, whole different subject. But yeah, hacked Fire Stick for watching WWE is actually great. But also, you can also go to watchwrestling.net on your computer, and there's streams all the time for Raw, SmackDown, and the pay-per-views as well, if you don't want to pay for the network or pay for cable. OBM8, do you think Crazy Steve comes to WWE and they will use his TNA gimmick? I don't know what gimmick he would use or what name he would use, but I do know that an offer has been made. I do know that he has been telling people, and I think he put it on social media, that he's going to work the indies for a short period of time. So that would indicate that he's going to work the indies until everything is finalized with the WWE. I0, how do you get one? A hacked Fire Stick? You buy a Fire Stick from... what's it called? Anywhere, really. Best Buy, Walmart, Target. And then you go from there. As far as hacking it, you can just YouTube search it. How to hack a Fire Stick. Boom. Robert Kelly says, I'm in Cali too. DirecTV, Raw and SmackDown, 5 p.m. That's the issue. Yes, you get the East Coast feeds of USA Network. I have Comcast, so I get the West Coast feeds, unfortunately. I could get DirecTV, but that's just going to cost me way too much, especially since my internet is bundled in with my cable for Comcast as well. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. I just stream it up live on my stick. But if anybody does have any questions about that, about hacking the Fire Stick and getting the WWE streams and all that, you can always message me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I can help you out with that if you want as well. Rith Thing, Cassius Ohno, Hideo Itami, Roderick Strong, Drew McIntyre, NXT champions as for 2008. Oh, you think those guys will be NXT champion in 2018? Okay. Well, let's see. Roderick Strong, probably not. Better chance than Cassius Ohno. Drew McIntyre, very good chance of being the champ by 2018. Hideo Itami, maybe he can get the title in 2018. So one, maybe two of those guys. Bruce Campbell, Grapple Vision, hasn't had a live show. Most Toxic Wrestling chat, but he also like PWU. Okay, I don't know what Grapple Vision is. Sarah Small, Robert Warren Kelly. I have friends there. Afghan, what do you think? Who will take the WWE champ from Brock? I honestly think they're going to keep the title on Brock till next year and have Roman Reigns beat him at WrestleMania. Honestly, that's what I can see happening. The big coronation of Roman Reigns yet again at WrestleMania. Robert Cathy, you're a vet. You'll get a deal on DirecTV. All I know is when I originally came back to California from Texas and I tried to get DirecTV, they want to charge me like $600 just to set everything up. And I was like, hell no, I'll go to Comcast. And there was no charge to set everything up. So they wanted to charge me out the wing yang for that dish and everything. So I'm good with Comcast. I got no regrets. With the thing, Dixie Carter still working for Impact? No, she has no affiliation. I think she may have a itty bitty bit stake in the company. Like, it's so minuscule that it doesn't even affect anything or even make her any money much at all. If that. She's got no say, no nothing, no anything. OBM8, sweet, I will hit you on Twitter because in this new town I live, they don't have WWE Network. Gotcha. As long as you have a good internet connection, the Fire Stick with Cody is a pretty much lifesaver. I mean, I've contemplated just canceling my cable altogether to keep the Fire Stick, but that's a whole different subject. This is wrestling. I mean, if you have a question about how to stream wrestling for free on your Fire Stick, hit me up. I'll help you out. Mo Loud, why don't you think Strong will win the NXT title? It's the way they've been pushing him. Now, they did do something cool with him this week. I haven't seen the whole thing. I haven't watched all of NXT yet, but they are starting to push him now. So maybe I could be wrong as far as saying he won't get the title, but they are really starting to push Roderick Strong now. If you did see NXT this week, there's a big old video package about his life, and I think it's going to be like a 2-parter thing. Or so. Yes, they could put the title on Roderick Strong, but as far as the guys that you said, I could see, for sure Drew McIntyre, maybe Hideo Itami. It all depends. And to be honest, they're really building. Looks like they want to build up Roderick Strong, whether that be for the title or get him over before the main roster. I don't know. You don't need the NXT title to go to the main roster. We've seen that with enough guys. So. Bruce Campbell, are they just hiring guys at this point to put a stranglehold on everybody else? I mean, you really want to know the reason they signed Drew McIntyre? I honestly feel that the reason they signed Drew McIntyre, yes, he's good. Triple H was impressed with what he did on the indies since leaving WWE, but a big factor that caused them to sign Drew McIntyre was because World of Sport got their TV deal. World of Sport is going to start filming their TV show soon, and World of Sport was interested in McIntyre. So WWE made that first move, signed him, boom, they can't use him. Thing, Cody will win ROH title or TNA. Ring of Honor. I'm pretty sure he's going to challenge for the championship at the next pay-per-view, and then possibly. Here's my thinking, because he lost at the last pay-per-view to Jay Lethal. He then attacked the champion, Christopher Daniels. Then he challenged Christopher Daniels. So I think he's going to challenge Christopher Daniels, get the title, and then feud with Jay Lethal over the title. John Brooks, did you see the tweet? Yes, that was the first thing we talked about when we went live here today. About Rebby saying that no, WWE has not got the gimmick. So we'll have to wait and see. She says no. Others are saying that it's true. She says that the Jarretts and Impact just leaked out that story to make themselves look good. We don't know who's telling the truth. World Clip vs. Shield, do you think Asuka is a full heel? They want her to be a heel. They want to portray her as a heel, but people just love her too much for her to be a heel. Rith thing, Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns and John Cena. I mean, you could try to team up Roman Reigns and John Cena if you want to see if that'll work for Roman. But I don't know if there's any help in Roman other than turning him heel. Good God. I don't know. I honestly do not know what they can do to help Roman Reigns. But Cena and Baron aren't even feuding, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that could be Cena's first feud when he comes back, Baron Corbin, to help Baron Corbin get over as that big monster heel like Braun Strowman is. But, all right, guys, I got to say thank you for today for joining us here on the live stream. That's going to do it for today. If you want to help us out and donate in a way that doesn't cost anything to you, head over to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. Interact with our website. Download an app. Watch a 15-30 second video clip. Best done on a mobile device or tablet. And then their advertisers will tip us. You can also go to our TeePublic store. The link is in the description below. To get any of our t-shirts, get any of our designs on stickers, on cell phone cases, coffee mugs, plethora of different merchandising items you can get there at our TeePublic store. And of course, if you're always here live in the chat, you can hit that super chat button right down there to donate to the show. And if you're not live, you can always go to gofundme.com/helpupgrade PWU. See what last few comments you guys are saying here in the chat. Robert Cathy says, Rebby always works the fans. That is very, very true. She swerved a lot of people over WrestleMania weekend, making them think the Hardys weren't coming in at Mania. OBM8, I thought Christopher Daniels, I probably spelled that wrong, retired until I watched. No, he did not retire. He beat Adam Cole for the title. He defended that title, was it against Dalton Castle? And now he's going to put that title on line against Cody. Bruce Campbell, I'm going to watch What Culture show, but it's just a Lucha Libre with even an intergender. Cool. Robert Cathy, Corbin is starting to grow on me. I can see where you can say that. He's getting better. He's for sure improving. That's for sure. But again, I want to say thank you guys for joining us here on the show today. And as always, you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where we will always interact, answer your questions. If you got any, just hit me up there. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell next to the subscribe button to get all of our notifications. And have a great Friday. Thanks, guys, and have a good one.